güeritas y toda la racita bailando y bailando y su pipiripao cantando y tocando. Hola, ¿qué tal? Hola, ¿qué tal? Una niña bonita me invita al cine y la criatura me dijo, ay no más no te me arrimes. Hola, ¿qué tal? Hola, ¿qué tal? Ay, dicen que yo tengo cara de perico, pero la verdad es que me llamo Federico. Dicen que papi tiene cara de perico, pero la verdad es que me llamo Federico. Hola, ¿qué tal? Hola,
Me llamo Federico.
Morning, Beto.
Good morning. Good morning, the Rio Grande Valley. We are so excited to be back. Are we going to have some taco palenque?
We have to. We can't come out here and not have taco palenque.
And as somebody who is perhaps the most devoted consumer of taco tote on planet Earth, how do you feel about taco palenque?
You know
Do you
what?
see it as competition, or can you compare them? Is it its own class?
You know what, Beto? I have to admit, it is just as good as taco tote.
Really?
Oh yeah,
Wow.
delicious. And the salsa arrangement and opera that they have
The
is
salsa arrangement.
that's right, so good.
The taco tote, the original taco tote in El Paso is, they're shutting it down.
They are not, Beto. They're relocating. I investigated once I
Isn't
heard
shutting
that.
down part of relocating? Like you're going to shut down
But-
your current...
Yeah, but they will open up. Like they will have a location to reopen, the one on Mesa Street. So do not worry, any taco tote fans out there. They're just relocating.
We've got some news.
There you go.
You ready?
Ready.
So, as of, I saw the confirmation maybe an hour ago, Texans so far have cast more ballots during the early voting period so far than we did in all of 2016. And 2016 was the greatest number of votes ever cast in the history of Texas. So our high water mark in 2016, we've blown it out of the water.
What?
With one more day of early voting left to go, and then election day left to go. So here's my challenge to you on the heels of this good news. Every Texan and everyone out there who knows a Texan, who has a Texan in their lives, and we all have a Texan in our life, reach out to them today and make sure that they have a plan to vote today, which is the last day of early voting. We want to close tonight, after all the votes have been cast, with not just having surpassed 2016, but knowing that we are on the way to crushing victories up and down the ballot. And the only way that happens is with Texans turning out, your friends in Texas, your family members, your classmates, your colleagues, if you live in the state, your neighbors, getting out there to vote. And so Cynthia and I, along with so many others across the state, are going to do our part today. We're going to actually be knocking on doors in the Rio Grande Valley with masks at a safe distance, keeping ourselves and the people we meet safe, but making sure that they have a plan to vote. Many counties in the Rio Grande Valley are doing an amazing job right now, but we could do even better. I think we're at 40% in 40% in some of these counties of voter turnout, which is great, considering that we're still just in early voting. But we want to do even better. We want to get to Collin and Denton and Harris County levels. So we're going to go out there and meet some voters.
I'm so proud of Texas. That is so fantastic.
Isn't that amazing?
Such good news.
Isn't that amazing?
Yep. And then with the last day of early voting, I know it's going to be even better today.
You do?
Yes, I do. I have a good feeling about it. Look at how pretty that flag looks there. I love being in the RGV, and I have to say, sorry about that.
That is a common moment right there.
I bet I can't help it if, things like that happen. It just happens. Life happens.
Life happens.
Life happens. So when we left Dallas, it was so cold, and it is really pretty out here today.
It's, yeah.
Right?
It's bright, sunny.
Let me see. Barry says, I did phone calling last night, and it was super easy and fun.
Is that Barry?
It's Barry.
Hey, Barry. I want to thank you, and I want to thank everyone else who joined us. I think we had over 500 people, which is a lot of people, making phone calls with us last night. And I can't remember the final number. Was it 385?
At least
385,000. Yeah, over 385,000 phone calls made. Barry made a lot of those phone calls. Barry, thank you. And can I tell you a story?
Yeah, please.
So we were calling a lot of El Paso numbers. So El Paso going through the worst COVID outbreak in the country right now. El Paso, which has been subject to tremendous voter suppression tactics in the past. El Paso, which subsequently has not enjoyed traditionally high voter turnout. El Pasoans are voting nonetheless in record numbers, and that has a lot to do with the El Paso voter. It has a lot to do with Veronica Escobar, who is our congresswoman from El Paso, who's been calling day and night, as have her volunteers, to El Paso voters to help them make a plan to vote. So I was calling into El Paso last night as well, and I get this guy named Daniel. And what I love about El Paso, I don't think Daniel and I have ever met, but he treated me like a friend. I said, hi, is this Daniel? He said, yes. Who's this? I said, this is Beto O'Rourke. Oh, hey, Beto, what's up? Oh, not much, Daniel, but I'm calling to make sure that you have a plan to vote. And Daniel said, oh, I got it, Beto, I'm going to vote on Monday. Now, to be clear, there is no voting on Monday. The last day to vote early is today, Friday, and then the next opportunity to vote after today will be Tuesday, Election Day. But Daniel had his dates mixed up, and so I said, hey, Daniel, you cannot vote on Monday, so I'm really glad I caught you before tomorrow, which is today, so that we can make a plan to vote. And I said, do you mind telling me where you live so I can find your nearest early voting location? And Daniel told me, and it turns out that the closest location to him was the Esperanza Library on Pebble Hills. For those of you who know El Paso, we're talking about the east side of the city. And I said, Daniel, looks like the Pebble Hills Library, which has voting today starting at 10 a.m. all the way through 7 p.m. So 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. This is a fact because I looked it up last night. The Esperanza Library on Pebble Hills is open for voting 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. Friday today. And so I said, Daniel, what time do you go into work? And he goes into work before 10 a.m. So I said, well, we can't get it done in the morning. What time do you get off work? And he says, I get off at 5. And I said, great. So what if we do this? What if we make a plan? As you come home from work, you stop at the Esperanza Library and cast your ballot. And Daniel said, that sounds great. He said, but I got to tell you this. I have promised my daughter, who is of voting age, that I would take her to vote as well. And I said, great. So we amended his plan. He's going to go home, pick up his daughter first, then they're going to go to the Esperanza Library. And as you know, Cynthia, Esperanza means what?
Hope.
It means hope. And I just love that he's voting at the Esperanza Library. And, he last night during that phone call with him gave me hope. I want to know that we can win this election, that we can replace Donald Trump with Joe Biden, someone who is compassionate and empathetic and kind and wants to bring this deeply divided, polarized country back together. I want to know that we can expand access to health care, reduce gun violence, confront climate change before it is too late. I want to know that in the most voter-suppressed state in the country, that our democracy can still work and that Texas voters can still make a difference. And talking to Daniel last night gave me hope on all those counts. And so Daniel, if you're out there, thank you so much for talking with me and for making the plan to vote and for voting today with your daughter at the Esperanza Library.
I love that. And I think what's so important, Beto, is, life keeps everybody busy, and you might not know the dates, might not know that today is your last day for early voting. And so if you hadn't called him, he probably wouldn't have known that and might not have had the chance to go out and vote and make a plan to vote.
That's absolutely right, Cynthia. That is absolutely correct. And so the Powered by People volunteers, who I think yesterday, Why Song shared the news with me, sent more than 3 million texts.
Wow.
Across Texas. Texts across Texas.
That's a little bit of a tongue twister.
3 million texts across Texas before the last day of early voting. Go powered by people
Wow.
Texan team. You are our heroes. And then the phone bankers last night, they made over 385,000 phone calls
Wow.
to Texas voters before the last day of early voting.
So impressive because everybody's so busy. You know, they're working all day. They have kids. They have.
All
So,
Cynthia,
yeah. And for that, they're probably wondering where we are, Beto. They probably are wondering where we are. Oh
Yeah, there
no!
we go. Yep.
Sorry,
Yeah.
folks, for the interruption.
If you know Cynthia Cano, only her phone talks to you out loud when you're live streaming.
It happens, right? It happens.
And life
guys.
happens, like
It
you said.
happens,
Sometimes you
yeah.
have a house to run and kids to raise, and phone
But-
calls that
but-
come in that talk to you.
Let's focus on the volunteers again, Beto. I just want to.
Hey, let's look at this street. Seriously, this is
This
a
is a
beautiful,
very cool street.
beautiful Rio Grande Valley street.
So green.
So green, especially compared to where we are from. We're gonna knock on their door, make sure they have a plan to vote today. But we just wanted to say thank you to all the volunteers. Thank you to all the Texas voters. Thanks to everyone who has made this possible. Texas has surpassed its previous high water mark set in 2016
Go Texas!
for total votes cast.
Wow.
And we still have a full day, that's today, of early voting left. And then we have election day on Tuesday. So Texas, get after it.
So proud of you,
Let's keep it
Texas.
up.
Go. All right, we'll
All right.
check in with you guys in a little bit.
Adios.
Bye.
Bye.